हाय गाइस, वेलकम बैक टू IAS फाउंडेशन। दोस्तों, आज जो हम बात करने वाले हैं UPSC CSE मेंस एग्जाम 2020 का मनोवैज्ञानिक साइकोलॉजी ऑप्शनल पेपर का। जैसा कि हमने आपको पिछले वीडियो में बताया था कि ऑप्शनल पेपर पूरा 3 घंटे का होता है, 250 अंक का होता है, कंपलसरी होता है। 2 पेपर होता है, ठीक है, 250-250 का 500 नंबर का होता है। ये प्रश्न पेपर 1 है 2020 का मेंस का मनोविज्ञान का साइकोलॉजी ऑप्शनल का। तो इसमें टोटल 8 होते हैं, प्रश्न होते हैं, 5 करने होते हैं। क्वेश्चन नंबर 1 और क्वेश्चन नंबर 5 जो है वो कंपलसरी होता है, और हर सेक्शन से जो है आपने 2 क्वेश्चन करने होते हैं। तो चलिए देखते हैं कि इसमें क्या क्या पूछा गया है। सेक्शन 1, क्वेश्चन नंबर 1, आंसर द फॉलोइंग क्वेश्चन इन अबाउट 150 वर्ड्स। व्हाट आर द मेजर फीचर्स डू clinicians use to interrupt research response? How does prior knowledge shape encoding in memory? Describe the psychological and cognitive components of emotions. Discuss the reason why reward may backfire and not produce their intended result for behavior. Suggest some strategies for fostering values in India settings. What is the role of artificial intelligence in psychology? How can it be applied as an intervention in identifying different psychological abnormalities? Difference between metamorphy and self-structured learning. Elaborate your answer with suitable example. मैम, आई एम सॉरी फॉर डैट, मैं पढ़ नहीं पा रहा हूँ क्योंकि थोड़ा टिपिकल वर्ड्स है, न्यू टर्म्स हैं, सॉरी फॉर डैट। डिफाइन द प्रीक्यूर्स of the development of item response theory. In what ways will it help in the advance of the area of aptitude testing? Difference between explanatory and confirmatory factors analysis. What is their significance in test construction? Elaborate your answer with suitable example. Explain 5 most important perspectives to define human behavior. Describe 3 stages models of memory with special emphasis on working memory. While playing cricket, Team A got into fight with Team B. Discuss in the context of realistic group conflict theory. How can conflict resolution strategies be used to manage and control such fight? How is quasi-experimental design different from experimental design? Describe different form of quasi-experimental design with a special emphasis on time series design. Any sort of learning takes place with the help of suitable association and reinforcement. Critical examine that how much cognitive gestalt and evolutionary psychologists agree with this statement. सेक्शन बी, इसमें भी आपने 150 वर्ड में देना है। क्वेश्चन नंबर 5 कंपलसरी। हाउ कैन ए साइकोलॉजिस्ट कंट्रीब्यूट टू द सोसाइटी ड्यूरिंग COVID-19? Describe brain plasticity and factors affecting on it. Discuss the steps involved in effective communication training. How much do family and school environment contribute to intelligence? Explain 6 primary emotions that can be identified from facial expression. Difference between Erickson's psychological and Freudian psychosexual theories. Also explain different virtues attached to each stage of psychological theory. Explain the various assumptions and ways of performing regression analysis. Also compare standardized and unstandardized beta coefficient with suitable examples. Repression is a motivated forgetting process that protected us by inhibiting an anxiety around memories. Explain its role in dissociated amnesia. Describe different personality assessment techniques and also highlight their strength and weakness. How are psychological, neural, and cognitive changes associated with aging? Explain. How can grounded theory approach help to explore layperson definition of happiness? Discuss in detail about different attitude rating scales. How can we measure intergroup prejudice among students in the class using Likert scale, and how can their behavior be rectified during moral education? Give detail of facilitating the hindering factors in problem solving. Answer the question by citing suitable examples. What are the different rules of language? Critical analysis, critical period, hypothesis. ये हमने ऑप्शनल पेपर 1 देख लिया, अब हम ऑप्शनल पेपर 2 देखेंगे। ऑप्शनल पेपर ये साइकोलॉजी ऑप्शनल पेपर 2 है, ये भी सेम होता है, सब कुछ बता ही चुके हैं। चलिए इससे सीधे क्वेश्चन देखते हैं। व्हाट इज मीन बाय द सोशल इंटीग्रेशन? हाउ कैन रियली harmony be promoted to attain social integration in the present scenario in India? Bring out the role of social agencies in the rehabilitation of persons suffering from substance abuse. Values cannot be fostered through TVs and mass media. Critically evaluate the statement. What is meant by the glass ceiling effect? Discuss the factor that facilitated some women to break this glass ceiling. Illustrate with some examples. Women in remote village have been deprived from development related benefit. What step would you suggest to enable women to take advantage of these benefits? Explain the nature of diversity in India. Organization in India. What steps should organization make to manage diversity? What are the challenges in the development and use psychological tests? Illustrate with example. Enumerate with the major purpose of psychological testing in educational setting and discuss ways in which psychological testing help both the teacher and student. How does categorization as in group and out group influences social relation? How can such influences of categorization be minimized? Discuss with examples. Environmental degradation is a major issue. Explain what has led to this and how it has impacted the life of people and society in India. How media influence pro and antisocial behavior. Discuss one instance of pro-social and the one instance of antisocial behavior. How can psychology contribute in managing IT and mass media for Atmanirbhar Bharat? Discuss. Who are the juvenile delinquents? Discuss the step involved in the rehabilitation and prevention of juvenile delinquency. What are the potential sources of stress for people working in research and development organization? Discuss some of the individual and organizational approaches in this organization to manage stress. Explain the psychological compilation that helps understanding the economic development. How are the indigenous therapies and alternate to classical ancient therapies? Discuss. How has population growth impacted human and social life? Discuss this in the light of COVID-19 pandemic. Discuss the factors that contribute to political behavior in organization. In what ways psychological tests are better tools in assessing individuals' differences? Explain. Identify and discuss the key element contributing to effective social change in the marginalized community. On the basis of psychology of motivation, write a program sketch for entrepreneurship development. Illustrate the basic tenets of psychodynamic and silent treatment therapies. Discuss the effectiveness of these therapies as form of treatment of mental disorder. What are some of the problems faced by defense personnel posted in authoritarians? Discuss how positive mental health can be promoted among them. Describe and evaluate the technique used in the training for memory development. Describe the symptom of depression and mood disorder. Give an account of etiological factors and suggest the appropriate therapeutic treatment for these disorders. In case of highly skilled professional doers, does their motivation come from within or in the result of situational factors? Explain this is the light of theories of motivation. How are the schizophrenic disorders different from anxiety disorders? Explain with examples. Think of a social group which has been subjected to prolonged depression. In what ways prolonged depression has impaired the lives of people belonging to this group? Suggest ways to mitigate these effects. दोस्तों, जैसा कि हमने साइकोलॉजी ऑप्शनल पेपर देखा, पेपर 1 पेपर 2 कैसे कैसे क्वेश्चंस पूछे जाते हैं और पैटर्न भी मैंने डिस्कस कर दिया हूँ। उम्मीद करता हूँ आपको वीडियो अच्छा लगा होगा। अच्छा लगा है तो प्लीज़ लाइक कीजिए, कमेंट करके बताइए, शेयर करना ना भूलें। तब तक के लिए चलता हूँ। जय हिंद।